okay? I look at it from that standpoint, and I say mad respect. Are there other players in the WNBA that are better? Yes, at the moment, okay? But they never did.
Miss Monica McNutt could have figured that out and took a conversation and did something she has never done before that absolutely shocked.
Have you heard the absolute bombshell shaking the entire sports world? ESPN's latest controversy hasn't just unraveled, it's exploded into a full-scale courtroom drama, and leading the charge with zero mercy is none other than StephenASmith. He's ripped the gloves off, stepping into this battle not just to debate but to completely dismantle Monica McNutt and Shiny Aguamike for what he's calling their wildly biased, absolutely delusional takes against the undeniable force that is Caitlin Clark. This isn't sports commentary, this is a public takedown.
What is your bigger concern when you highlight that Angel Reese, like Caitlin Clark is usually the victim, Angel Reese is usually the villain? Is that your primary concern?
But let's rewind to where it all began. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's most electrifying rookie, did what she always does, she dominated. A sensational 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, an all-time performance. Then, in the third quarter, the so-called incident happened. Clark boxed out Angel Reese hard. Yes, it was physical. Yes, it was aggressive basketball. But a flagrant foul? Seriously? That call wasn't just questionable, it was flat-out ridiculous.
All the time. So Angel Reese pushes Natasha Howard in the back, which angers Caitlin, and Caitlin gives a no free buckets foul with some extra sauce.
And that's when the part that really pushed StephenASmith over the edge unfolded. Monica McNutt and Shiny Aguamike's responses? Predictable, dramatic, and, in his eyes, embarrassingly performative. Monica claimed, if the roles were reversed, we all know how the conversation would go. Oh, Monica, Stephen A. was ready for that one. The irony was too thick to ignore, and he was about to expose it in brutal fashion.
Competitors. They both said this was a basketball play. Now, Greedy, let's be honest. If this was the other way around, oh, Lord, you can only imagine how the conversation would have gone.
If this was the other way around, oh, Lord, you could have only imagined how the conversation would have... Well, you know what, Monica? That's a good... Let's see if we have any examples of this possibly being the other way.
Believe to Angel Reese.
Oh!
And they will go to the monitor.
Wait a second.
To review this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Boom!
Stephen A. came back with a hammer of truth. He reminded everyone that when Angel Reese fouled Caitlin Clark in the past, Clark didn't flop, didn't whine, didn't seek sympathy. She walked away. She kept playing. She didn't need to create a moment for the cameras. But now, when Clark is the one playing physical, suddenly the league erupts like it's some national scandal. Why is it a crisis when Clark gives it back?
Or three. If you're not one of them no good bastards that would do something like that, feel something like that, say something like that, nobody's talking about you. Don't personalize it and embrace it as if black folks and other folks are lumping you with.
Let's be real, this double standard in the WNBA is blatant. Angel Reese has made a career out of being aggressive eye pokes, shoves, constant taunting, and the media eats it up like it's part of her charm. But when Caitlin Clark plays tough, suddenly she's labeled dirty? This is the story we're expected to buy? Reese built her brand on being loud, confrontational, unapologetically brash, and that's fine. But don't cry foul and play the victim when someone finally pushes back and does it better.
What I didn't agree with is when she said, oh yeah, all players react the way that Angel Reese reacted. Now, if we think back to last year when Caitlin Clark was getting knocked all over the place, how was her reaction? Did she get up and try to fight? Did she get up and try to get in somebody's face afterwards? A lot of those times, it was just her maybe laying down, or she got up and walked away, got up, went to the bench. So I don't necessarily agree that everybody reacted the same.
And this is where StephenASmith set the whole debate on fire. He called out Monica McNutt and Shiny Aguamike for leaning into identity politics to defend behavior that's simply not defensible. Monica tried to spin it like Angel Reese is being unfairly targeted because she's black and that Clark gets media protection because she's white. Stephen A. didn't just disagree, he tore that argument to shreds, point by point, and made it clear, this isn't about race, it's about the game.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four, and then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living, you know what, at that particular moment in time, and Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did, it would have never gotten to the...
Stephen A. was on a mission now. He called out Angel Reese directly, accusing her of constantly chasing clout, of making herself the center of attention at every opportunity. He traced her pattern all the way back to the infamous LSU championship gesture. Since then, she's been chasing viral moments instead of focusing on her game. Her antics, her media stunts, it's all starting to look fake. Experts agree her need to stay in the spotlight is becoming toxic and it's overshadowing her real talent.
If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship, if that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big. Yes, she's a talent. Yes, she would have made the WNBA. But in terms of her popularity, it really soared after she took down Caitlin Clark. And then Caitlin Clark came back last year and got revenge by knocking LSU out.
This isn't about race, Stephen A. thundered. It's about respecting the game. It's about performance, maturity, and professionalism on and off the court. Caitlin Clark didn't become a national sensation because of her background, she earned it. She's that good. Her talent speaks louder than any narrative the media tries to spin. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's transforming the Indiana Fever, dragging them out of irrelevance and into the national spotlight. She's packing arenas, shattering viewership records, and putting the entire WNBA on her back. This isn't special treatment, she's earned every headline. Meanwhile, Angel Reese seems stuck clinging to that one NCAA moment, using every game as a stage for drama instead of letting her play do the talking.
When you look at Caitlin Clark is balling. She's a rookie of the year. She was one of the finalists for the league MVP honors as a rookie, breaking all types of records. She should have been on Team USA. She didn't choose to play in an unrivaled league. Her brand building has been incredibly impressive.
Stephen A. finally hit his limit. He's sick of the double standards, sick of the silence when Clark gets hit, sick of the media jumping to defend Angel Reese like she's being unfairly attacked. Where's the outrage when Clark gets fouled hard? Where are the social media protests then? The inconsistency is exhausting, and Stephen A. didn't hold back. He slammed his desk, raised his voice, and asked the question every fair fan is thinking: why does Angel Reese always get a pass? And why do voices like Monica McNutt always leap to defend her, no matter what?
Exactly the way that you did, that you expressed rather. But there are an abundance of people that weren't looking at it that way at all. There are an abundance of people that have religiously respected the great talent that exists within the WNBA and the women who have done it. What has happened is that in America, you have somebody that's come along, who, by the way, I'm gonna go there, who happens to be white, and brought a level of attention and allure to the sport it had not received before. And what we were seeing from an abundance of folks.
Monica had no real answer, just deflections, just more noise about Indiana fans and the real hate supposedly being ignored. But Stephen A. wasn't buying it. He wasn't interested in distractions. He was focused on the facts.
Monica McNutt, nothing smart to say. Can you address that? No, it's okay, Monica. It's okay. You're too busy worried about the Indiana Fever fans. You're not worried about the actual trolls and the hate and the bigotry that's taking place on that side, are you? No, but why are we surprised?
Why, Stephen A. demanded, is Angel Reese constantly allowed to instigate, play dirty, and then immediately cry victim when someone pushes back? It's not a one-time thing, it's a repeated pattern that the media keeps excusing. Stephen A. isn't creating drama, he's demanding honesty. He's holding people like Monica McNutt accountable for pushing biased narratives. He's not here for fake outrage, he's here to call out the truth that's been buried under layers of spin.
I'm not as bothered by this as most. Let me tell you why. Not bothered by this because I love when folks are stupid enough to show them. You see, what we need to work with. Remember, as they say, you know, you can have cats and sheets. We see them coming. And they said, no, just take off the sheets. Some folks said, just take off the sheets. We just gonna put on the suit and infiltrate and look like everybody.
Let's be crystal clear, this wasn't the first time Monica McNutt found herself publicly schooled by the legendary StephenASmith. In fact, she's made a habit of throwing baseless accusations at Caitlin Clark and her massive fanbase, a group that proudly includes Stephen A. himself. And every single time, Stephen A. has stepped in and dismantled her arguments with precision, speed, and wit, leaving her narrative in ruins. It's been a masterclass in how to obliterate biased takes with cold, undeniable logic.
To address Monica McNutt's point, I found it very unfortunate that she would say that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the executive producer of First Take. You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now.
You better check yourselves, Stephen A. declared, his eyes blazing with intensity. What we're seeing right now isn't real basketball commentary. It's not objective. It's not honest. What we're witnessing is an agenda being pushed, dressed up as expert analysis. The moment he said it, the energy in the room shifted. Even Molly, usually the steady voice, was left speechless, visibly stunned by the raw force of Stephen A.'s truth.
And put out a false narrative. That's why. Stephen A. Smith, Daily Mail, of course, couldn't forget them. Guy can't forget them. Stephen A. Smith is slammed by co-hosts in furious exchange live on the air. Slammed? Or taken aback by the falsehood.
Instead of using her platform to celebrate Caitlin Clark's incredible court vision, her magnetic presence, or her record-breaking performances, Monica McNutt has chosen to double down on the weak claim that Clark's fame is simply because she's white and from Iowa. According to Monica, it has nothing to do with Clark torching elite competition, dropping 40-point games, or collecting awards that most players only dream of. This narrative isn't just ridiculous, it's a blatant insult to the sport.
About them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman.
Stephen A. wasn't done. He pivoted the entire conversation back to Caitlin Clark with passion and purpose. This young woman isn't just playing the game, she's transforming it, he said. She's filling arenas, bringing millions of new fans to the WNBA, and reviving franchises that were on life support. And what are these so-called experts doing? Wasting time defending nonsense instead of honoring what she's actually doing for the league.
Monica, what are you doing? Life was so much better when you were downstairs, in the basement, in the closet, keeping to yourself, staying quiet, keeping your thoughts, your opinions, the things you analyze to yourself. Life was so much better when you were out of the post.
And Stephen A. is absolutely right. Caitlin Clark's impact isn't just about points, it's about revolutionizing the game. She's elevating her team, boosting the WNBA's financial future, and redefining what's possible for guards in this league. She's not just hype, she's historic. She's setting a new standard and raising the entire sport along with her.
It was a blowout as the Fever beat down Chicago 93-58, with Clark's triple-double leading the way.
In this proper perspective, when I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude. There's an incredible level of gratitude that should be accorded to this.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky now face an investigation into alleged racial bias, a deeper issue that has resurfaced time and again in the WNBA. This isn't new. The league has already weathered storms of controversial fouls and racial accusations. And let's not forget Monica McNutt's own reckless statements, where she claimed, without hesitation, that Caitlin Clark's fame exists only because she's white. This isn't just a one-off, it's a pattern.
Out chasing thing that Angel Reese does, reliving the glory days. She sits on the check-in table, hears absolutely no racial slurs, hears absolutely no mean sounds, hears absolutely nothing but boos being rained down from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And of course, the WNBA released a statement. Monica McNutt, you do realize that those things never happen, right? You do realize that those are a bunch of trolls on the internet, that the WNBA and fools like...
And then there's Angel Reese, still chasing her moment in the spotlight. She walks to the scorer's table, no racial slurs, no offensive chants, just the sound of fans booing her. And somehow, the WNBA rushed to release a statement, as if something terrible had happened. Monica, you do realize those incidents never happened, right? You're defending internet trolls while spinning stories that don't hold up under the slightest scrutiny.
Right? And so, covering the WNBA this past season, Caitlin Clark's rookie year, for all of the conversation that surrounded her, some which was fair and some which wasn't, the one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her. Little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games, but I think Caitlin represented, but she was a white girl from the middle.
And let's talk about Monica McNutt's most outrageous claim. When asked why Caitlin Clark's popularity has skyrocketed, Monica looked straight into the camera and said, "She's just a white girl from the middle of America." Excuse me? Are we really supposed to believe her success isn't about her skills, her record-setting performances, or her relentless work ethic? Reducing her meteoric rise to the color of her skin is not just ridiculous, it's deeply offensive to every person who watches her play and recognizes her greatness.
But Monica McNutt, oh Monica McNutt, you always find a way to say the dumbest shit possible. Last year, you made sure that you told us the dumbest shit possible in determining who you thought would be Rookie of the Year. And now you're telling us that the reason that anybody likes Caitlin Clark and anybody's watching Caitlin Clark is because...
Here's the truth, Monica, kids don't see color the way you think they do. They see talent. They see greatness. And you know who agrees? Michael Thompson, father of NBA star Klay Thompson. He called you out directly, schooling you on what it really means to evaluate athletes. Michael reminded everyone that true analysis focuses on skill, not skin color.
Oh, first of all, it's not rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points.
That's true.
It's not right. Indiana Fever's on a different level than Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level.
And now she's being called out for it. She had said some ridiculous things during an interview. And people just can't believe this, frankly. But it's where we're at. ESPN, I guess, I don't know what they would do if they couldn't race bait at this point. I don't know that they've got another pivot in them at all. And again, this is one of the reasons so many people are turning off ESPN, and shows like Around the Horn are getting canceled.
Michael Thompson didn't hold back. He made it perfectly clear, Caitlin Clark didn't become a superstar because of her skin tone, she got there by consistently nailing impossible logo threes, by creating plays out of thin air, by playing a style of basketball that's simply magnetic. That's the truth Monica keeps ignoring. Clark's appeal is rooted in undeniable skill and pure basketball genius, not demographics. StephenASmith ended with a mic drop that echoed across the sports world, if you're going to talk basketball, then talk basketball. Break down the plays. Analyze the stats. Respect the game. But if you're just here to defend your favorites no matter what, if you're going to push biased narratives without accountability, sit this one out. Caitlin Clark doesn't need protection. She doesn't need spin. Her game speaks for itself. And right now, her game is speaking so loudly it's shaking the entire league. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.